Hi, everybody. I hope you're all well and jolly and that there is absolutely nothing troubling you right now. I got the best news this morning when I opened my phone. One of my favorite reporters, Dan Wooten, had been cleared of any wrongdoing by the police. You know, we don't always know what happens behind closed doors in someone else's home and life. And often I think we will be surprised, but regardless of whether it will be a good or a bad surprise, what people do behind closed doors is not our business. Unless, of course, they are breaking the law and killing people or manufacturing drugs or something equally bad. But otherwise, it really is none of our business. However, having said that, I do think that those of us who have been around the block a few times and who have to wash the grey out of our hair have a fairly good idea and are sort of able to judge character, often based on background, upbringing, and general conduct. And therefore, I have felt right from the beginning that this entire action against Dan was a targeted smear campaign. Dan was not responsible for what Lawrence Fox said, and to suspend him for that was utterly ridiculous. And to suspend Calvin Robinson as a result of his support for Dan was even more ridiculous. And now what? An entire probe into Dan's life had proven nothing. And in my opinion, GB News had now lost two of their most interesting presenters, two straight shooters who appeal to us with more conservative, however not totally ridiculous views. I really hope that Dan and Calvin will do something together and that, like Piers Morgan and Tucker Carlson, will go on to bigger and better things. Come on, Dan, let's show them. Okay, so on to things royal and not so royal. I was hoping to get into some of the research I'm busy doing, but my darlings, I am afraid time just does not allow me to do everything I want to do. It just doesn't. I'm packing and packing, and it feels like a bottomless pit or a black hole. I fill box after box, and Dragonman moves the boxes out for me when he gets home from school, but it still looks like I barely touched the house. And we got the news that the tenants at our new home are moving out on the very, very last day of the month. Oh my word. I just don't even know how we are going to manage it all by ourselves. But, my dears, we will. We've done it before and we shall do so again. It just looks like this gigantic task. Okay, so while we don't have the actual time for phone calls, back and forth emails, DMs, and reading articles, I thought we could maybe have a bit of fun. And most of it comes from you, my subscribers. Okay, one of you, I don't know whether she wants her name mentioned or not, sent me this photograph. Yes, it is one we have seen numerous times and one I use often as and when we talk about Lily. Now, I've often said there is something off about the photograph, but although we went this way and that way, and I even moved the child to a different background, etc., there was still something not quite right about it, something I couldn't put my finger on. Yes, a 1 year old is highly, and I mean highly unlikely to sit on his or her knees. Don't ask me why, I'm not a pediatrician, but I'm guessing it has something to do with their balance. Sitting on her knees is, however, the only way to explain why no part of her knees or feet are showing out from under that short dress. Now, you're welcome to go look it up. Instead of sitting on their knees, a child will, well, a 1 year old or child of that age, will either have their feet in front of them, which is normal and far more likely, or a few will sit in the W position as shown on the screen. Now, there's a lot said about this W position online, but this is not a medical chat or forum. But suffice it to say, if Lily was sitting with her feet in front of her or in the W position, her feet or part of her leg would have shown in the photographs. So, where are Lily's legs? But, my dears, that particular question we have asked before. But, my friends, now an eagle-eyed subscriber had come up with something different, and now I cannot unsee it. So, I am coming to you for your opinion. Have a look at the supposed Lily's neck. Now, the younger a baby, the shorter the neck, to a point sometimes where the neck looks non existent, and we just have these cute neck folds which can easily become a cheese neck if not duly cleaned, dried, and powdered. But as the child grows and becomes more mobile, the neck also grows and becomes more visible. Yes, there are still a few kissable folds, but at one, a baby is fast becoming a toddler. So look at Lily's neck and compare it to Charlotte's at one. Okay, now I know children differ, okay, but look at the circled neck fold. Isn't it a little too prominent, a little too deep? Please, just have a look. Now look at the neck of a reborn doll. Which would you say Lily's neck looks like most? Charlotte's or the doll's? Could that be the cut where the head swivels? I'm just asking. Also note that the front of her dress is hovering over the grass. Overall, it is my opinion that the entire photograph is odd and almost too still, too lifeless, expressionless. Or am I just being silly? What do you think? Okay, so you go right along and you decide and you tell me what you think, but in the meantime, let's move on a little. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get very despondent when it comes to Meghan and Harry, and it feels like they are the epitome of everything that is wrong now being right these days, and as if there will never be any justice or then even a little karma where they are concerned. For example, it has now been, 14 days, about 2 weeks, since they launched their website, and still not a peep from the palace. And it appears that regardless of the Queen having said and made it very, very clear that she did not want and would not allow them to profit from their titles, regardless of there being written rules whereby they cannot use royal insignia for business and profit, they do it anyway. And it appears that no one is going to do anything about it. I really wonder what there is about Meghan that she gets away with everything. Very few members of the royal family themselves would get away with half of what Meghan is getting away with. Anyway, it does cause a bit of despair or sort of irritability, not only with Harry and Meghan, but with the whole royal saga. However, I was chatting away to someone a while ago and she said, no, 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 my dear, hang on. Things are not as rosy for old Meghan as they make it seem. And she pointed me to an article in which Bob Gale, a screenwriter who co-wrote Back to the Future, stated the following: I don't want to talk about Meghan. I think we are all tired of talking about Meghan, aren't you? Well, that about sums it up, I think. Even this new podcast of hers is basically just a rehash of the same shit. I mean, the first 12 episodes are just a rerun of what was already on Spotify. I mean, dear God, who is going to listen to it again? Certainly not me. I listened and read the transcript last time in order to analyze and give my opinion. And I think if I go to the trouble to look for it, I should still have the transcript somewhere. So if I want to be reminded of anything but don't want to listen to Megan's fangirl voice, I can just go read it. Not that I even want to do that. So, who on earth, sugars included, are going to listen to it again? I guess they'll create a few bots or fake accounts to create the illusion that someone is watching. But you see, that is the measure of Megan's success and interest. Same shit, different day. And you know what? That is why Meghan and Harry are clinging to those titles. Because if they did not cause a bit of royal family drama once in a while, we would all have been eye roll bored with them by now. Anyway, okay, guys, I'm off packing and cleaning. I promise you, I'll make up for these shorter videos very, very soon. I think that in the new house, I will set up a little dedicated YouTube corner and I will pop in person from time to time, as old and as ugly as I am. Okay, so until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.